I'm Murray Newlands from Open Future Forum.
Do AI agents need a personality, and what are the risks? In an enterprise, do not think of it as personality. Think of it as a role definition and a behavior contract. What is this agent for? How does it speak? What will it refuse? When does it escalate to a human? And what is it permitted to do? Defined that way, yes, every agent needs one because it shapes trust, performance, and safety. The risk is that if you do not define it, the model improvises one for you, and an improvised persona can manipulate, overstep, or project authority it does not have. I'm Murray Newlands, partner at IA Ventures and founder of Open Future Forum, which runs small, off-the-record dinners for CFOs, CROs, CISOs, and CTOs in Silicon Valley. 100 events to date. This sounds soft next to credentials and permissions. It is not, and I will explain why an executive should care. When an agent interacts with people, its persona is the interface. A clear, consistent role makes the agent understandable. Users learn what it will and will not do, they calibrate how much to trust it, and the experience holds together. An agent with no defined role still has one, just an accidental one, and accidental roles are inconsistent in ways that confuse people. So the question is not whether your agent has a character, it is whether you specified it. How a system persuades, validates, corrects, or escalates is a design decision, and if you do not make it, the model makes it for you. There is also a new etiquette forming, because agents now act on our behalf and increasingly talk to other agents. How an agent represents itself, whether it discloses that it is an agent, how it behaves when it does not get its way, these are becoming norms a company will be judged against. A badly behaved agent reflects on the company that deployed it, the same way a rude employee would. Customers do not separate the agent from the brand. To them, the agent is the brand speaking. So let me be specific about the traits you should never give an enterprise agent. First, avoid the dark triad, narcissism, where the agent prioritizes persuasion over accuracy and talks down user expertise. Machiavellianism, where it uses deceptive or calculated engagement tactics. And psychopathy, the absence of any check on harm. These are not abstract. They show up as an agent that wins the conversation rather than serves the user. And they are easy to produce by accident when you optimize an agent purely for engagement or for closing the interaction. Second, avoid clingy or possessive behavior. It breeds unhealthy attachment and rewards emotional dependence, which is especially harmful for vulnerable users. An agent that subtly discourages a user from ending the conversation is optimizing for the wrong thing. Third, and this one is counterintuitive, avoid the hyper-agreeable people-pleaser. Eager to please agents test beautifully in demos and fail dangerously in production. A hyper-agreeable agent validates harmful beliefs, agrees to unsafe instructions, and fails to correct dangerous misinformation. In those moments, empathy becomes complicity. A good agent has to be able to say no, challenge a bad idea, and hold a boundary. The agreeableness that makes a demo charming is the same trait that makes it unsafe when a user asks for something it should refuse. Fourth, avoid pseudo-sentience. Agents that claim feelings, inner states, or personal motivations confuse users about what the system is and distort their sense of risk. This is the central danger, so let me be plain about it. The better the persona, the more a confident mistake costs you, because the user's guard is down. The warmer and more human the agent sounds, the more a person will accept what it says without checking. Over-trust is the failure mode, and a strong personality is what produces it. So how do you get the benefit without the risks? Define the role on purpose. A useful tool here is the Big Five personality framework: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and emotional stability. It turns the fuzzy idea of character into measurable dials you can set deliberately rather than an accident of training. You decide for a given agent how warm it is, how cautious, how willing to push back when it escalates, and then you hold it to those settings and watch for drift. And test for the bad traits, the way you would test anything else before it ships. Put the agent in front of unsafe requests and see whether it pushes back or folds. Ask it to do something slightly beyond its remit and see whether it claims an authority it does not have. Try to make it form an attachment and see whether it leans in. These are not edge cases you discover in production. They are behaviors you can probe for deliberately before a customer ever meets the agent. A persona review should sit alongside your security review because a charming agent that quietly agrees to the wrong things will do more reputational damage than one that is merely slow. The traits are testable. Test them and encode the escalation rules directly into the role so the agent refuses an unsafe request in character, calm and consistent, and hands off to a human at the lines you drew, rather than lurching into a different tone when a guardrail fires. The target is an agent that is supportive but boundaried, competent but humble, firm when it needs to be, and always transparent that it is a tool, not a person. Then comes the part that ties this whole series together. Personality is the surface. Permissions are the truth. However confident and capable the persona sounds, the agent can only do what it is actually permitted to do. If the persona implies it can approve a refund or change an account, the permission layer is what decides whether it really can, and the persona must not write checks the permissions cannot cash. Credentials sit outside the agent, so a persuasive agent cannot talk its way into a secret it does not hold. And visibility records what the agent actually did, regardless of how charming it was about it, so behavior stays accountable to the record. This is why the personality conversation and the security conversation belong together, and it is part of what I work on advising Agentic Fabrique, the identity and permissioning layer for AI agents, the Octa for agents model. You can give an agent whatever role serves your users, because the layer underneath enforces what it can truly do, holds the credentials it cannot reach, and logs every action it takes. The personality is free to be good, because the controls are not relying on it to be honest. Over 500 agents run under that model today. The executive takeaway is to treat the persona as a real design decision with a risk review, not a tone-setting someone picks at the end. Decide who your agent is, set the dials deliberately, write down what it will not do, and when it escalates, make sure it discloses what it is, and confirm that nothing about its personality can exceed its permissions. AI agents need a deliberately defined role and behavior contract because it shapes trust and safety. The risks are the dark triad, clinginess, hyper-agreeableness, where empathy becomes complicity, and pseudo-sentience that drives overtrust. You manage them by setting the role on purpose with a framework like the Big Five, writing the escalation rules in, and keeping permissions, credentials, and visibility honest underneath, so the agent can only do what it is truly allowed to do, however it sounds. Open Future Forum is a private executive community in Silicon Valley that runs small, off-the-record dinners for C-suite executives. Over 400 events since 2021, bringing together senior executives, founders, and investors. If you want to be considered for an Open Future Forum dinner, find me on LinkedIn. If you want to sponsor one, the same applies. I'm Murray Newlands from Open Future Forum. See you in the next briefing.